The first book I read in 2019 was The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. It's also the fourth book and fifth book I've read in 2019. I've already gone through it 3 times, and you'll soon hear about why that's the case. This book is focused on the concept of organizational health, which is identifying traits in a company or an organization that help quantify the cohesiveness of the workers there, the clarity of purpose, and how consistently the people there behave the way that they claim to in their value statements. It also provides some exercises on how to measure your company's organizational health and different ways to improve it if you think it's low. Why even care about this concept of organizational health? In Patrick's assessment, U.S. companies don't have a lack of smarts regarding things like finance or marketing or strategy, like the meat and potatoes of business. He sees the area where people trip up the most and have the biggest opportunity for competitive advantage is the area of organizational health.
I have yet to go into a company and walk out of a meeting with the executive team thinking these people are just too dumb. You see, everybody is pretty smart these days. However, the average company is still not very healthy. They are plagued by politics and confusion. And so what we're talking about here is the best way to differentiate a company in this era is to figure out a way how to make it healthy. That is the biggest competitive advantage, and the best companies in the world will be the ones that figure that out.
He says it's the plate on which the steak and potatoes of business is served, not just the seasonings. He also refers to organizational health as a multiplier of intelligence. This book complements a lot of the lessons that I've picked up in other great books like Good to Great by Jim Collins and Lead True by Dr. Jeff Thompson. I mentioned that as one of my favorite books in 2018. It's also an alternative to books like Traction by Gino Wickman. And if you know me well, then you know that's really high praise. Traction's one of my favorite books of all time. So who do I think this book would be great for? Well, if you've ever thought that your company had a lack of trust between the C-suite and the workers on the ground floor, or if you ever thought there was a lack of clarity on what the vision was or what the most important issues of the day were to tackle, or if you've ever just sat through a meeting and said, I really hate this meeting is a waste of my time, then you'll probably enjoy the lessons in this book. I view this book as a great framework on how to view your business from a different perspective or your organization from a different perspective, and potentially getting started on different techniques on how to address and assess it. But for me, one of the areas that wasn't really addressed well is necessarily how to execute on a plan, which is where I think books like The 4 Disciplines of Execution would be a great adjunct or additional book to read along with this. But overall, I think this is a fantastic book. I think it's pretty much a certified classic in the business world. The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni.